Hello, my name is Godtfred Kirk Christiansen, and today I want to share with you a story that changed not only my life, but also the lives of millions of children around the world. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and leave a like, because here you'll find inspiring stories like this one that touch the heart and remind us that even in the hardest times, it's always possible to build something extraordinary. Now, get comfortable, because what I'm about to tell you will move you from start to finish. It was 1932, and I was only 12 years old when I saw my father, Ole Kirk Christiansen, sitting at the kitchen table with his head in his hands. The Great Depression had devastated Denmark, and our small carpentry workshop in Billund was on the brink of bankruptcy. No one had money to buy ladders, ironing boards, or the furniture my father crafted so lovingly. I remember feeling a lump in my throat as I watched him, that strong, hard-working man who always had an answer for everything, now not knowing what to do. My mother had passed away a few years earlier, leaving my father alone to care for me and my 3 brothers. The pain of her loss was still fresh, and now the threat of losing everything loomed over us. That night, I overheard my father talking to my uncle, saying he might have to close the workshop, sell our tools, and look for work in Copenhagen. The thought of leaving Billund, our home, everything we knew, terrified me. But then, something happened that changed everything. A few days later, while sweeping the workshop, I found my father doing something different. Instead of building furniture, he was carving small wooden toys, a duck, a car, a yo-yo. His eyes were shining in a way I hadn't seen for months. When I asked what he was doing, he smiled and said something I would never forget. "Godtfred, when we can't sell what people need, we must create what they desire. And what every child desires, even in the hardest times, is to play, to dream, to imagine a better world." At that moment, I didn't fully understand what he meant, but I trusted him. I always did. We started making wooden toys. They were simple but crafted with the same care and quality my father put into every piece of furniture. He used to say that if something was worth doing, it was worth doing well. And so he painted a sign to hang in the workshop with big red letters. "Only the best is good enough." The first few years were hard. We sold toys door to door at local fairs, anywhere that would take us. I helped after school, carrying boxes, painting pieces, learning every detail of the craft. My father needed a name for the business, something that captured what we did. He combined 2 Danish words, leg godt, meaning play well, and created the name Lego, simple, memorable, perfect. But the real transformation was yet to come. In 1947, something extraordinary happened. My father attended a trade fair in Copenhagen and came back with a sample of a revolutionary material: plastic, more specifically, cellulose acetate. He was fascinated. He showed me small, colorful blocks that connected to one another, made by a British company. His eyes gleamed with that same light I'd seen when he carved those first wooden toys. "Godtfred," he said, "this is the future. Imagine the possibilities. Blocks that connect, that let children build whatever they can imagine. Not just play with toys, but create their own." People in Billund thought he had gone mad. Plastic was seen as cheap, inferior, low quality. How could he abandon the tradition of wood for this artificial material? But he wasn't abandoning anything. He was evolving. We invested all our savings in an injection molding machine. Incredibly expensive for us. It was a huge risk, and at 27, now working full-time in the company, I was terrified. "What if we're wrong, Father? What if no one wants plastic bricks?" He put his hand on my shoulder and said something I've carried with me all my life. "Godtfred, the fear of failure must never be greater than the desire to create something new. If we fail trying to do something amazing, and that, my son, is never a defeat." The first plastic bricks we produced in 1949 were imperfect. We called them automatic binding bricks. They fit together, but not precisely enough. Kids played with them, but something was missing. Then came disaster. In 1960, our wooden toy factory caught fire. Everything burned, machines, stock, years of work turned to ashes. I thought it was the end, but my father, at 69, stood firm. He didn't see the fire as tragedy, but as a sign. It was time to focus entirely on the plastic bricks, to perfect them, to make them truly special. And that's exactly what we did. For years, I obsessed over improving the design. The problem was the connection. The bricks fit but not firmly. Structures collapsed too easily. I knew that unless we solved this, Lego would be forgotten. I spent sleepless nights testing configurations, measurements, shapes. Until one day in 1958, I had a revelation. A hollow tube inside the brick that allowed a perfect clutch between pieces. They clicked firmly, yet could still be pulled apart easily. The perfect balance. When I showed it to my father, he had tears in his eyes. "You did it, Godtfred. You've created something that will last forever." And he was right. We patented the design on January 28, 1958, and it remains virtually unchanged today. A Lego brick made in 1958 still fits perfectly with one made now. That timeless compatibility became the soul of our company. But challenges never stopped coming. In the 1980s, we faced another crisis. Sales were stagnant. After my father's death in 1971, I was in charge and forced to make hard decisions. Some advisors urged diversification, to abandon the original philosophy. But I realized we were losing our essence. Lego was about limitless creativity, so I made a radical decision: to return to our roots. We would focus solely on the system of bricks, on quality, imagination, and design. Then came a turning point. My son, Ole Kirk Christiansen, joined the company with new ideas. He proposed creating themes, stories children could live through the bricks. Not just houses and cars, but castles, spaceships, entire worlds with characters and adventures. At first I resisted. I thought it might limit creativity. But Kjeld showed me I was wrong. Children didn't just want blocks, they wanted inspiration. Themes wouldn't limit imagination. They would ignite it. We launched the Castle line in 1978, Space in 1979, and everything changed. Sales exploded. Children loved exploring those worlds, and parents saw educational value. Most importantly, kids didn't stop at the sets. They mixed, rebuilt, and created their own stories. Exactly what my father wanted. In the 1990s, the digital age arrived. Video games became the new obsession. People said physical toys were dead. We tried everything: theme parks, video games, even clothing, and lost focus again. By 2003, we were near bankruptcy. After 7 decades, the company my father built was collapsing. I had already retired, but the pain was unbearable. My grandson, the fourth Kjeld, was now CEO, carrying the weight of generations. Then something beautiful happened. A letter arrived from a mother of an autistic child. She wrote that Lego had helped her son communicate, to express himself, to find peace in a world that often overwhelmed him. Building with Lego helped him make sense of life. That letter was one of thousands. Stories of children learning through play, of adults using Lego to relax, of families building together, of engineers and architects who said Lego sparked their creativity. We realized then, we weren't just a toy company. We were a bridge to human creativity, a tool for learning, a symbol of infinite possibilities. That realization saved us. We rebuilt by focusing on what truly mattered: imagination and quality. Then came the greatest surprise. In 2014, the Lego movie premiered. Watching it for the first time at 84 years old, I cried. There it was, and my father's message, projected for the world: that creativity is our greatest power. that anyone can build something extraordinary, that failing and rebuilding are part of creation itself. The final scene, where father and son reconnect through Lego, took me straight back to that day in 1932, when I saw my father carving a wooden duck. He wasn't just making a toy. He was building a bridge between dreams and reality. Today, Lego is the world's largest toy company, but the goal was never money. The goal was to give children, and adults too, the tools to build their own worlds, to experiment, to fail, to try again, and to learn that the only limit is imagination. My father taught me that only the best is good enough, not the most expensive, not the most sophisticated, but the best in intention, quality, and purpose. Every Lego brick is manufactured with a precision of 2 microns. That pursuit of excellence, that refusal to accept mediocrity, is in our DNA. I've learned that our greatest successes often come from our greatest risks. When my father bet everything on plastic, when I perfected the brick, when my son introduced themes, when my grandson refused to give up, each of us was betting on something bigger than ourselves, human creativity. And the greatest lesson of all, failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Children watch their Lego castles fall 100 times, and what do? They rebuild, they improve, they learn. Looking back at that tiny workshop in Billund, at my father's rough hands carving wood, I see that every struggle had a purpose. Every crisis made us stronger. Lego isn't just about plastic bricks. It's about the belief that we are all builders. We build homes, families, societies, futures, piece by piece, brick by brick, choice by choice. My father once said a toy should last generations, not just physically, but in meaning. And today, it does. Families pass Lego sets down through generations. Those little bricks carry memories, stories, moments of connection. Recently, I received a photo of a great-grandfather playing Lego with his great-grandson, 4 generations apart, connected by these colorful pieces. That, I realized, is the true legacy of what we built, not measured in money, but in joy, in shared moments, in dreams realized. So if you take one thing from this story, let it be this. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how many times you fall, there's always a way to rebuild. There's always a piece that fits, a solution that works, a way forward. My father began with scraps of wood during the world's worst economic crisis. He could have given up, but instead, he chose to create, to believe, to build hope for children even when adults had lost theirs. And that choice changed everything, for our family and for millions around the world. Because when you create something with purpose, love, and the intention to make a difference, it echoes through time in ways you can't imagine. Today, at 94 years old, whenever I see a child playing with Lego, eyes shining with imagination, I know my father is smiling somewhere. His dream wasn't to build a company, it was to build dreams. And that, we did. So if your plans have fallen apart, if you've lost something important, remember, you are a builder. You can take the pieces that remain and create something new, something better, something that lasts. Because the future, like a Lego castle, is built brick by brick, and every piece matters. Every choice counts. Every attempt is worth it. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, leave a like, share it with someone who needs this message, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. And always remember, only the best is good enough, and the best is what you can build with your own hands, your own heart, and your own imagination. Until next time, keep building your dreams, one brick at a time.